As I was touring the Welding Institute and hearing about it a little bit, I was reminded of Mark Twain's saying. He said, everybody's complaining about the weather, but nobody's doing anything about it. And so everybody's complaining there's not enough welders. Adam and the Hinton family decided we'll fix that. And it's really kind of what you need. I mean, if you're gonna wait for the head of the Department of Education in Washington to figure this out, you're gonna be waiting a lifetime. And businesses come up to me all the time throughout Kentucky. We don't have welders, we don't have carpenters, we don't have electricians. I say, don't wait on Washington. Try to fix it yourself. And so I love the idea that the local community started doing this and the Hinton family did it, and you're succeeding.
Well, and I have to chime in and say that the Pease family and the Applegate family and all of our staff and team here, that the real solution is finding guys that know what they're talking about, and that's what we've done, surround ourselves with talented people we trust and enjoy being around. And all of the real solutions, for the record, come from Pease and Applegate and their teams.
And I don't think I'm going to be qualified to teach any welding, but I did take welding when I was in 8th grade. And the thing we always made back then was none of the trash cans had wheels on them like they're built on, so we would make trash can holders. And it was what everybody wanted to do in 8th grade, was make a trash can holder. And mine lasted, I think, for a couple of years, I think. So, but I'm not going to, I don't think I'm going to win any statewide award or anything, but congratulations. And yes, we do need welders and carpenters and electricians. And it's a big mistake to make the decisions on what occupations we need and how many students we need to one person. The same way it's a big mistake to leave all the COVID decisions up to one person, because that person's fallible, so am I, but you want a multiplicity of opinions and things, and you want local communities to be involved. You don't want just one person, because what if that one person makes a mistake? So about 20, 30 years ago, whoever that one person was at the top of the Department of Education said, we need everybody to go to college. And so they pushed everybody to college, and so we had people graduating from UK with business degrees and no job. Business degrees and making less than a welder will make, or no job at all. Not to denigrate business degrees. Somebody here probably has a UK business degree. One of my kids does. But the thing is that there are great and admirable jobs throughout our community that aren't necessarily college jobs. Doesn't mean we won't still have college and advanced degrees. I went to higher education, but I have a great deal of respect for people who can fix things and fix engines and do all that kind of work. But the moral of the story is that we should decentralize decision making. And there was an economist by the name of Hayek who wrote The Road to Serfdom right after World War II. And one of the things that sort of was alarming to people was, we survived the Nazis. Churchill, keeps England together. They fend off the Blitzkrieg, all that. And within 2 months of the end of the war in Europe, the English people vote a socialist in and vote Churchill out. And the worry was that socialism was coming on in this big way. And so Hayek wrote a lot about this, but what he wrote about is that we shouldn't submit our will and our desires to a group of experts. One, because the marketplace is smarter than any group of experts. So when you think about this, like, what should the price of corn be? What should the price of hogs be, or soybean? The marketplace determines that by millions of buyers and sellers. And supply meets demand, and somewhere there's a price. And that ability of the marketplace to determine that is smarter than any individual. We can get the 10 smartest people in the country, put them on a board and say, you're going to determine the price of bread. This is what they did in the Soviet Union. But if you set the price of bread too low, it's all gone. If you set the price of bread too high, it sits on the shelves, and then there's a black market that develops. The price of bread, nobody knows what the right price of bread is, or gasoline, or anything. It goes up and down every day based on supply and demand. But that's millions of people interacting, and that somehow that knowledge of the marketplace, guided by the invisible hand, and the left still likes to make fun of the invisible hand, but we all know what the invisible hand is. The invisible hand is self-interest. We do work for ourselves and our family first, and then for our community next. But people sometimes mistake that the invisible hand also has to do with having less poverty in your community. Do you want to live in a community with a lot of people begging and out of food and starving? Nobody wants to live there, so people also give to charities and to their church, also kind of in a self-interested way. You want to help the people, but you also want your community to be a good place. And I think small communities like this get it.
If you need assistance with federal agencies, please contact our Bowling Green office or visit our website.